What's up, you guys? Ethan here. So it's been a while since I made a video last, and I just had to right now because there's so much craziness going on. So unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard of what's going on with Wall Street bets and the stock market. So basically what happened is what's called a short squeeze. And so, their thinking was, okay, if we all band together, we all buy the stock, we all do our call options on this, this thing's gonna go to the moon, it's gonna cause these, funds with large short positions to close, which is going to, cause them to have to buy back the stock that they sold short, which is in turn going to push it higher. So in case you're not familiar, a short position, for basic, example here, let's say there's a stock that's trading at $10 and you think this stock's overvalued and you think it's going to go to 5. So what you're going to do is you're going to short it. So what you're going to do is you're going to borrow 100 shares, say, it could be however many shares you want. For this example, we're going to say 100 shares. So you borrow 100 shares and you're going to sell them short. So you're going to sell them on the market for, $10 a share. So you're going to have $1,000 in your hand. So how you close this position is you buy back those shares, but hopefully at a lower price, and you're going to profit the difference. So you don't owe back $1,000, you owe back 100 shares. So, say the stock hits your $5 price target, you buy back 100 shares at $5, that's $500. You're going to profit $500 and you're going to return back the other 100 shares at $5. So basically these large hedge funds had, they took in short positions, except instead of, 100 shares, it's like millions of shares. And so the short squeeze is basically when these large hedge funds try to cover their short positions by buying back stock, that they sold short to close out their positions. So it's kind of like an unintended consequence that's happening because they have to buy the stock to cover their short position from those shares that they borrowed. And because they're buying in this, because all of them are doing this simultaneously, it's making the price rise along with your Wall Street bet boys, going in, and you got your call options and you got all that, and then you got the hype and you got the media and you got all this stuff, and it just goes to the moon. So in case you're new to the stock market, like this isn't normal. Like this doesn't just happen. Like this isn't a common occurrence. So, this is super dangerous. This causes so much volatility, in the market. So any of these stocks that this is happening with, I wouldn't touch them with a 10-foot, I wouldn't touch them with a 20-foot pole, 50-foot pole, 100-foot pole. This stuff's just way too volatile, and there's nothing really there of substance that supports these prices, right? So when you think about it, and these stocks, 10x or 20x, you do these crazy things with what happens when you have a short squeeze, and all this hype and stuff about it, and everyone just starts piling in, is you start to get these valuations for these companies that are nowhere in the realm of like what's realistic for the company. And so no longer is the valuation of the company based off of, their business model, their competitive advantage, what they do as a company, but it's purely just a price, basically, that the market creates for it. And so no longer is their business valued on their business, it's valued at some extra out there stock market price, right? It's completely uncorrelated to the actual business. And so traditionally, I wouldn't touch any of this stuff, right? I told you I wouldn't touch it with a 100-foot pole. I had like $50 in my account, and I was fully expecting to lose 100% of it. And I was like, you know what? This is a historical event. I'm going to put some money into this. I bought like $40 worth of GameStop puts, and I think I closed it at like a $4 loss. And then today I bought puts on AMC, I think like $60 worth. And I'm expecting to lose 100% of this money just for the fun of it, to make the day a little more interesting. And so I put like $50 into AMC puts or something. I ended up making like 36 bucks. It's not a lot. Like I wasn't even expecting to make any money. It just made the day a little more interesting. So that's my little foray into AMC and GameStop that I did. Yeah. So I want to talk about my thoughts and opinions of, this event and what it's going to look like in the future. So this is getting a lot of press attention. Not only is it in your traditional like Wall Street Journal and stuff like that, but this is like on the night news and it's all over the place. And so I think what we're going to see is, and we're already seeing this, is a lot of intervention with Congress, right? It's already in Congress and they're already talking about this stuff, and you're looking at things that they could possibly do. With this situation. They're doing an investigation into it as we speak. So personally, I think this is going to cause companies that take out short positions to not do it so heavily. Because what you're gonna have, and this is totally my opinion, what I think is gonna happen, right? This could not happen. This is just something I think is gonna happen. Is you're gonna have, companies where people can, see how much short interest is in a company, right? How many shares are sold short. And so, our Wall Street Bets boys are gonna go in and they're gonna be like, oh, company ABC, ticker symbol ABC is 40% sold short. You know what to do, boys, and just go in and buy call options, pump the stock, cause another short squeeze, easy money, right? And so I think that, and this is what's happening all over the place, is a lot of these stocks that are sold short right now are just going to the moon right now. And, these short positions are getting destroyed. I think right now, the last report I saw in 2021, short positions that hedge funds have already lost $54 billion, right? It's absolutely crazy. And the crazy thing about that is this is being done by average Joes, right? Shout out to Wall Street Bets, the little guy getting some skin in the game. This is awesome. But, this has some crazy implications, and, it's just crazy times. So why is this so dangerous? So besides the apparent things, is this creates and it manifests a gambler's mentality. So no longer are you looking at a stock for, intrinsic value or anything like that. You're just you're just speculating in a stock because it's getting hyped up. Everyone's talking about it. So you're like, easy money, let's go, and, it's very dangerous because you're betting on something purely based off of speculation. There's no factual evidence truly supporting what you're doing besides of it just being a trend and the fundamentals behind a short squeeze and stuff like that. And the thing about this is I forgot where it was that I read this, but it's the top 2 ways that Americans plan on getting rich is either winning the lottery or suing someone. And so, it's that same idea of the lottery, right? It's I'm gonna, hop in on this stock at $1 and sell it at $50 or, something crazy like that. And so you're basically using the stock market as your lottery. And the thing about it is not only is it super volatile, but it's super risky. I'd rather, want an environment where I could make, a consistent amount of money pretty regularly than, maybe I lose everything, maybe I make 100x my money. And so that's what I do with options in my long-term investment accounts is it's I'd rather consistently grow something and compounded it, 10%, 12%, whatever it is over a certain amount of time than maybe make 100x on my money or maybe not, maybe lose everything. And that's also with options trading is I'd rather make, $100 every day or, $150 every day, whatever it is, consistently over time rather than having this sporadic thing that heavily depends on, external factors that I can't really control. Whereas I can if I approach options trading, from a very consistent standpoint. And the biggest thing of all this that just breaks my heart is you see this stuff on the news and unsophisticated investors, and this is nothing against them, it's just how it happens, is unsophisticated investors go out, open Robinhood accounts, and just dump their hard-earned money into these stocks that are being hyped up in the media. Not only if, by the time you hear about it in the media, is it, relatively oversold, but it's people are taking their hard-earned money that they've worked so hard for and going all in with that money into these stocks purely based on, what someone said on Twitter. And it's man, that's so bad. Sad, guys. And usually most of those people, get burned. Me, myself, I get burned on that stuff probably 9 times out of 10. That's why I don't do it anymore. And the sad thing about it is people are going to get burned on that and then they're never going to return to the stock market again. So out of this whole thing, kind of looking forward into the future, I'm just really interested to see how this whole thing plays out. I think we're, probably definitely going to see some more government oversight when it comes to this stuff and more limitations when it comes to trading. Maybe there's, certain options contracts, like a certain number you could do or something like that, or maybe a limit of some sort, something where it's going to limit, something like this from happening again. And before I end this video, I just got to give a massive congratulations to the people over at the subreddit Wall Street Bets. that's just amazing, you know, having like such a small community of people that invest in the stock market, you know, going in and doing something like this. It's absolutely, you know, crazy that something like that could happen. And it just goes to show you, you know, what, you know, individuals and groups can do. And I think this is also a little encouraging because it's like the small guy can actually make a difference and it's not all about the hedge funds. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. I hope you got a little bit of value, maybe a little bit of entertainment out of that, a little bit on my take of, you know, this whole, you know, GameStop, AMC short squeeze situation we got going on right now. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.